Hello everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome to my channel Thriving with Rye, where I discuss and teach advanced mathematics, finances, and self-improvement. As you know, the end of the semester is approaching, or quarter, and that means choosing our classes for next year, or even the summer if you're taking summer courses. And with that comes a lot of background noise. You have friends telling you, you should take this class or you shouldn't take this class. Parents telling you what classes will look good on your resume or your transcript. You have teachers telling you what classes you should take and blah, 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 blah. We don't listen to them. There's only one exception where we listen to them, and I'll get to that later on. I titled this video Things You Should Know Before You Take the Class and not if you take the class, because you are taking this class. We've already established that you have made it to this level to take this class, no matter how many people say they have failed it, wanted to die over it, or dropped out. It's none of our business. It is none of our business what other people have experienced, because it doesn't mean that it's going to be your experience. If you have made it to the level where you are able to take this class, you are taking it. We're not second guessing if we should take it or if we're right for the class, if we're going to be successful. That is not the title of this video. If you should take the class, how do you know if this class is right for you? That is not what we are talking about today. So with further ado, let's get on with the point of the video. 5 things you should know before you take that class. We are taking that hard math class, that hard chemistry class, that hard physics class, that hard engineering class. We're taking it. Number 1, nothing is hard if you learn it. Once I reached a certain point in my life and I realized nothing is hard anymore because I take the time to learn it. There's no difference in a college student taking college math than there is a first grader taking first grade math or a third grader taking third grade math. Even if you are advanced in the classes that you take, there is no difference. If you have advanced to that point to take that class, that is your level. So it is not above you, it is not too hard for you, it is not a reach. It is your level that you are taking. It's not hard, you just have to learn it. Now, if you get into that class and you do struggle, I don't understand people who will try to convince you that you can pass and ace every single test. Now, you can, but failing tests, let's just be realistic. It's okay to fail tests. But just because the class is hard, I'm going to use hard with quotes from now on because I don't like that word. Just because the class is hard doesn't mean that you're stupid, doesn't mean that you can't do it, doesn't mean that no one else before you have ever done it before. The class is a class for a reason, and it is still a class because thousands and thousands and thousands of people have successfully finished that class. So why can't you finish the class either? I keep referencing math because I feel like a lot of people view hard classes as like STEM, like math, biology, chemistry, but this could apply for any class. This could apply for an English class you believe is really advanced, maybe the workload is a lot, or an art class, just any class you believe or other people categorize as hard. People around you are gonna categorize these classes as hard and tell you that it's hard because of their experience of it. Other people's experience is none of your business because you will have a completely different experience because you are a completely different person. So that is the first thing, absolute first thing you should know before you take that hard class, is to eliminate that hard word. It's not hard, it's a class. It's new information that you haven't learned before. Once you learn it, it's just information. Number 2, know your professor. Now, I know you haven't started the class yet. I know you probably know nothing about your professor's personality, if he has kids, anything like that. But if you did get a name, you have access to information. Piling up college tours can become very expensive with little to no time to explore all of the colleges you might be interested in attending. If you're a high school student and you are starting to consider colleges that you might want to go to, then Campus Rail gives you the opportunity to do virtual tours through student-generated video content. These students give you real-life insight into a variety of universities. They talk about the campus life, the food, the city, the students, and just everything you would need to know when considering what colleges you want to go to. You also get the opportunity to win a $2,000 scholarship just for viewing one virtual tour. So if you are interested, please scan the QR code or you can click the link either in my bio or description and sign up. It's free of charge to sign up. So why not just get this free information on the inside life of the universities you are considering going to. This was the one aspect where I was saying it's okay to listen to other people, but we're not talking about listening to other people's opinions, feelings, experiences, like I said, because that is none of our business. Here, we're trying to listen for the facts. How does this teacher teach? What's his teaching style? Did he give a lot of homework? Did he give review packets before the test? Just stuff like that. Facts. What did he do? If you know a professor's teaching style prior to the class, then you are able to make up for the lacks that he or she might have based off your learning style. You want to know things that they might do that might not exactly work for you when you are learning a new topic, so you need to make up for the rest. Not extra work, just a different way of learning, a different way of being successful. But it is better to know before the class rather than get there and you're struggling because you did not expect this much lack of accommodation to your learning style. Number 3, understand the subject you are taking. Now, like I said, this class hasn't started yet. How are you supposed to understand, yet alone believe that you can understand this class? Because right now, we're feeling like this class is hard. So why am I understanding it before it even starts? I don't mean understand the subject so that you can take a test right now and just pass it. What I mean is get down to the basics of the class. What is the subject? Is it a math? Is it a science? Is it an English? Is it a performing arts? Is it a visual arts? Is it a fitness class? What is the basic subject of this class? When you get down to the basic subject of this class, you are able to then identify the specific skills you need for this class. Initially, when you think of a class as hard, you're thinking of it being beyond you, something that you can't touch, you can't reach, you can't be successful in. That's because in your brain, you are thinking of all these things that you need to have to be successful in this class, and you're viewing yourself as lackful of them, that you don't have them. When you can get down to the basics of a class and identify the skills needed, you will realize that you have the skills needed. And if you don't have the skills needed, you can get those skills because it is not that many that's needed. For instance, if the hard class that you're about to take is a math class, you might need more memorization and algebraic skills than if you were taking an English class, where you would need more reading, communication, punctuation skills. If you can narrow this hard class down to 2 or 3 basic skills that you will need to be successful, it will make that hard word less daunting, which it is less daunting. It's all in your head. Also, knowing the skills needed to be successful in a class can also be helpful to know the studying style that you're going to need, because you will have to study. This is just a small little side note. If you are really feeling scared about taking this hard class, then I'm gonna assume that prior to this hard class, you have not been the best studier. I'm only saying this because a lot of people who are advancing to higher subjects have previously been successful in past subjects or past classes or courses. Usually, success in earlier courses come from passion or intellect, or natural ability to follow along a class course guide. As you get higher and higher in subjects, it requires more self-discipline, studying, time management. It requires more work. So if you are feeling daunted about this hard class coming up, then I'm guessing you know that it's going to involve some studying, a lot. It's going to involve a lot of studying, okay? We are not in elementary school anymore, or middle school. We can't skip the studying process. We have to study. I'm not saying we can't have no free time, which I will make another video about that later, but we have to study. And so if you know the skills needed, then you can limit, in your mind, you can visually limit the type of studying you will be doing. In your head, when you think of studying prior to that class, you're thinking of being up all night, studying every textbook, not getting any sleep, not going out with any friends. That's not how studying is. It's not. Like, for instance, when I was taking calculus and physics, I found that studying for the two of them were completely different. When I was studying for calculus, I needed more memorization and repetition. When I saw an equation, I had to know how to do it, what steps to take, memorize the laws, And the only way I could get better at that was repetition. I had to keep doing the same type of equations over and over again. When I tried to apply that same study technique in physics, I became to a robot. I needed to have more cognitive abilities, more critical thinking. I needed to think and visualize how I saw it in my head and how the forces actually work together. And physics was... But with physics, the way I might have taken that route of study is watching more videos or seeing it more in real life, drawing pictures. I didn't have to sit there and do equations and blah, 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 because once you can understand it in your head... Once again, I'm getting off topic. That's for another video. But yes, know the skills needed prior to the class so you know exactly what is being asked of you, what is being challenged of you. Because it's not everything that you've ever known is being challenged in this one class. I promise. The fourth thing that you need to know before you start this hard class is that the class will end. One thing I heard a couple weeks ago that really stuck with me is that when you start a course or a residency or internship or just something difficult or time consuming, that time period for that thing is going to pass regardless. 4 years is going to be 4 years. 3 years is going to be 3 years. 2 months is going to be 2 months. 5 weeks is going to be 5 weeks. 2 days is going to be 2 days. It will not get longer. It will not get shorter. That's just what it is. So if that time is going to pass regardless of what you are doing, wouldn't you rather that time pass with you having completed this course or this class? Wouldn't you rather those inevitable 5 weeks go by and instead of you doing less than what you could have been doing, you reached for it and you completed it? Even if it did not go the way that you thought it would, you still gained the experience of going through it and knowing what you could do better for next time, or even you did great. And now that 5 weeks has passed and something good has come out of it. Number 4 is very similar to number 1 in the sense that it is all a mental thing. Before you take this hard class, and you are feeling intimidated or scared or feeling like you're going to be unsuccessful, your brain is engaging in this act called extrapolation. This is where your brain takes one small experience or one small feeling and assumes that it's going to be forever or stretched out over a long period of time. This is the brain's way of protecting you because it wants you to adapt to your new circumstances faster if you feel like it is going to be there for a long period of time. If you don't feel like something is there for a long period of time, you are more likely to let it pass or to sit through it because you know that it will leave. But when you feel like something is permanent, you feel the pressure to adapt to it quicker or even to avoid it. So by knowing that the class will end in the time period that it is set to end, it will relieve some pressure that this is just a small portion of your education, of your life. Really small. It will also reinforce to you that failing that test is not going to affect you 30 years down the line. It won't. It might also alleviate some disappointment when you're not doing as well as you might think you are, and it will encourage you to keep trying because you know that it is coming to an end. You do not have forever to sit here and cry about a test. You do not have forever to be lazy, to procrastinate. You don't have forever. You only have this period of time to get it together. And so when you know that this class is about to end, or not about to, but it will end, then you're on your A game. You are, because you don't have that much time and you're not adapting, you're not getting comfortable. Whether that piece of information will allow others to work harder or to work less, because sometimes you might be overworking yourself. Take it with a grain of salt. The class will end. However that benefits you mentally, let it. That leads me to my last point, number 5. What you need to know before you start that class is the benefits. Now, this is not a glass half full or glass half empty speech. I understand that a lot of people start these courses and they're not too passionate about the subject. Like I said, if you're successful in these earlier courses, it's likely due to natural intelligence, passion, or just natural being able to follow along with the course guide. But if you have progressed to take these more advanced courses, I'm assuming that you have goals, that you have a career goal that you're trying to achieve, that you have a college that you're trying to go to, that you have a job that you're trying to get. I'm assuming that you have something that you are trying to accomplish that has taken you on this path of advanced courses. If that is not the case, I'm assuming that you are passionate about this subject. Maybe you like math or physics or chemistry and you really want to learn more about it. If those two are still none of the reasons and you were just put in this class because you just were, you have all the prerequisites to take it, your counselor or advisor just put you in that class, or it was the last class available, who knows, you're just in this class, you really couldn't care less, you're just in it. Well, this is still for you. There are benefits for every single type of person taking these classes. Obviously, I don't have to touch too much on the benefits for the people who are passionate about the subject. You are learning more about what you love, you're gaining more information, and this could benefit and fuel your desire to learn more, which is really good. And I'm happy for you, and I hope you really enjoy learning. That should make the course less daunting because you are not there to pass. You are not there to succeed. You're there to learn. And when you are there to learn, it makes it easier to remember and pass. But really what I'm talking about in terms of benefits is that when you sign up for these classes or you go to these classes, you are initially uncomfortable. Like I said, the feelings of intimidation, imposter syndrome are heightened at this time because the class hasn't started yet. You don't know what to expect. When you go and take that first step and you enter that class, it's uncomfortable, it's scary. As you keep going throughout the course, it gets challenging and you have to adapt. You might have to change your study style. You might have to put in the extra work. You might realize that your time management is not as good as you thought. Your self-discipline is not as good as you thought. You might realize that you are a loner. You don't know how to go to people for help. You don't know how to ask for help. You don't know how to work with other people, which is another video. All these things you might learn about yourself and learn about how you are in environments that make you uncomfortable. These have many benefits. When you go through life, you will be uncomfortable sometimes. You will be assigned hard tasks. You will be thrown curveballs. Life is not a straight path. It's not. It's constantly changing and ebbing, and everything is going on all the time, everywhere. That's never ending. Okay, this class ends. Life ends too, but you get my point. When you can learn how to sharpen these tools that you will need for life early on with a small class, it will benefit you in the long run. Just by you pushing through this initial feeling to not want to take the class and doing it, just by you finishing the class, you will have opened up a new self-image for yourself, that you can do hard things, that you can do things that you thought you couldn't. Also, with the life skills that you will learn after these hard classes, learning how to be uncomfortable, learning how to push yourself, learning how to deal with stress, these are things that are critical to navigating life outside of high school, outside of college. The lessons and skills that you learn from these classes go beyond college, beyond grad school. They go when you have your first corporate job, if you want to start a business, if you want to start a family, if you want to start a relationship. All of these things are crucial. Learning how to be uncomfortable is crucial. So that is the 5 things that you need to know before taking that class. And like I said, before taking that class, it is just a class. You are going to take it. If you can find your benefits from taking that class, and you do the prior studying of the professor, how he teaches, and the skills needed for that course, you will be fine. It's not hard. You just haven't learned it yet. So I hope you enjoyed watching today's video and just intake on taking hard classes. I truly understand how it feels to be scared before taking a class, feeling like the risk of taking it might ruin your GPA or ruin your chances for future opportunities. But trust me, you will be fine. If you have advanced to the point where you are able to take this class, then you belong in this class. and you are going to rock this class. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like. And just remember that over here, we are thriving. We are only going upwards. That's it. We don't go down. Just up. Bye everyone. Have a good Sunday.